Mods. There's a lot of them. You look at them, see your inventory full, and your brain explodes. What the hell do they do? Well, they do some pretty simple things. Let's talk about it. First off, I have a chart in the description of this video that lists all of the rare mod combinations that exist in the game in terms of where they can be slotted. And by exist in the game, I mean I got 10 people in a chat room with me and I asked everyone every single mod that they had. The chances of a mod not being on this list is pretty low, barring any exotic mods that might exist or any mods that haven't been discovered yet for whatever reason. Certain classes have access to one extra mod depending on what mod it is and what class. For example, the Void class ability mod can be put into your helm and or chest for any class, but it can also be put into a hunter cloak, so hunters get a third for that specific thing. Other classes get different things. It's all in the chart, again, in the description. By the way, if anyone from Bungie is watching this, I appreciate that the sorting option exists, but the two that I actually want for mods, which are sort by element or sort by type, or both at the same time, don't exist. Please add that quality of life fix, add those sorting options, that would be very nice. We'll start with melee, grenade, and class ability mods. They all reduce your cooldowns, assuming you're using the corresponding subclass. Every class can only have 2 of these mods equipped no matter what. Here are some clips of melee mods on a Sentinel Titan. On the left, no mods. In the middle, 1 mod. And on the right, 2 mods for our melee attack. It takes about 1 minute and 23 seconds with no mods for our melee to come back, 1 minute and 15 with 1 mod, and 109 with 2 mods. So there is a diminishing return of stacking the mods. We have a 9.6% speed increase with 1 and a 16.9 speed increase with 2. There was no difference when I tested a legendary mod versus a rare mod in terms of duration, nor was there a difference when I tested a mod in a different armor slot. With a grenade mod, we have the same effect as the melee mod, 123 to 115, 8 seconds off, about 9.6% speed increase, and with 2, 109, so same as melee for the most part. To make sure that this is a standard across all subclasses, I tested every grenade across every subclass across every class. And every grenade is a 1 minute and 23 second cooldown, except for Firebolt and Arcbolt grenades, which are on a 1 minute cooldown. One mod for a bolt grenade cooldown is about 55 seconds. Hunter's melee attacks are on a 1 minute 36 second cooldown, with mods bringing it down to 128 with 1 and 120 with 2. With a class ability mod, your Titan wall cooldown goes from 38 seconds to about 35 seconds. I know, pretty crazy. Unfortunately, I did not have a second mod, but I imagine the cooldown will drop to about 32 to 33 seconds with a second mod. On a Warlock's Rift, well, it's the same as Grenade, pretty much. 123 to 115, and then 115 to 109. On a Hunter's Dodge, the standard cooldown is about 24 seconds, with one mod bringing it down to an insane 22 seconds, 2 mods a ludicrous 20 seconds, and with a third mod, a mind-blowing estimated 18 seconds. Next up, we have the Resilience, Recovery, and Agility mods. Historically speaking, these stats have been pretty difficult to test, and they are no different in Destiny 2. Titans can stack up to 2 Resilience mods, Warlocks up to 2 Recovery mods, and Hunters up to 2 Agility mods. In Destiny 1, 1 armor point typically did not do a whole lot unless you were going for max armor. 1 recovery was very hard to notice, and in Destiny 2, health regen's even slower, and I can't see 1 agility doing a whole lot either. It's yet to be known if having max armor provides any sort of heavy PvP benefit. Side note, the acceleration mod, a picture of a foot, goes on your arms. Why? With the Power Munition Loader mod, where reload speed is increased for power weapons, I tested a random assortment of power weapons to see if I could find some sort of a percentage increase, since all power weapons are going to have different reload speeds. And for the most part, we did see speed increases. The mods actually worked, but across different weapons, there wasn't a ton of consistency in terms of trying to find a percentage. These tests are going to be much better when we can focus on a weapon-by-weapon basis instead of just testing random weapons here and there. The same is going to go for kinetic munition loader mods. With the kinetic counterbalance mods, which is a recoil reduction mod, I again tested a random assortment of weapons to try to test out how much of an effect this mod had. And again, I will say that it'll be much better to try to test this on a weapon-by-weapon basis instead of trying to just get a general sense of the mod. However, with testing, one of these equipped just kind of felt like a placebo effect most of the time. Just felt like I was at the mercy of recoil RNG. Hunters can get 2 of these, and unfortunately, as of this video, I did not have a hunter made, so I can't test, but I imagine you would get better results. With the energy bracket mod, which is the improved handling mod, I just did some weapon swapping, aim down sights, and shooting, but I think the average player doesn't really care about weapon handling, and in Destiny 1, handling speed boosts were usually somewhere around 200 to 300 milliseconds, although the 30 FPS cap makes it a little bit harder to actually determine speed. It's not really a sexy perk for most players. I don't know how much one of these is going to be worth it because I barely felt much of a difference here, at least in terms of swap speed. Definitely more testing can be done here. As for weapon mods, there's not a whole lot to it at the moment. You have Void Solar and Arc mods to change your elements, and then the legendary versions give you +5 on your weapon. Only non-elemental mods can go into your kinetic weapons. Once you hit 280 light, you'll be able to trade in rare mods at the gunsmith for legendary ones at a rate of 3 rares for 1 legendary. You can also craft a random legendary mod, weapon or armor, for 2 mod components, which are obtained by dismantling legendary mods. 1 mod is 1 component. You also get 1 legendary shard for dismantling a legendary mod, so a good way to get some shards if you really need them is to convert rare mods into legendary ones and then dismantle. Anyway, this is where you can get that elusive legendary kinetic weapon mod. Finally, I just want to cover this fact again. Mods do not have an impact on Infusion at all. This is mainly with regards to having a +5 mod on a weapon or armor piece. I've seen a lot of people ask why their gear wasn't infused properly or ended up with a lower level item that they were expecting. You need to look out for mods on your armor. Exotics will always come with a +5 mod in them. The reason why mods do not have any effect on Infusion is because if they did, you'd be able to power level yourself really high, really fast, because you could throw a +5 into a weapon, infuse it, throw a +5 into that weapon, infuse it, etc. So Infusion is not impacted by mods at all. You need to look at the base power level on an item. So that's a quick introduction to mods for now. They're not super scary at all. It just kind of seems like it is because there's so many little bits of info. As for what the best mod combinations are, that kind of depends on what you're aiming to do and what build you're going for. If I'm a Sentinel with the grenade kills give you grenade energy perk or a striker with double grenades, maybe I want to go all in on that to try to get my grenades back really quickly with double mods. Maybe my heavy weapon reloads really slowly, so I want to boost it. I don't think I would ever have one of each mod since by themselves they don't feel super powerful. I think I would probably try to double up on 2 mods, but as we play more and more and we focus on individual weapons and armor, I can give better advice. Thank you all very much for watching. I'll see you next time.